From politicians to police to victims, calls for change have been imminent in the last couple of years, yet the acts of hate continue. The vice principal of a Sacramento high school, the latest target. We've discussed her a lot in the last 2 days. Racist graffiti all over that campus directed at her, and she said today that she is at her breaking point. Joining us now live via Zoom, the president of the Sacramento chapter of the NAACP, Betty Williams. Ms. Williams, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time tonight. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so I know I'm going to start really broad here, but I feel like we need to start broad so that we can kind of narrow it down a little bit. So much discussion has happened in the last few years about how to tackle this problem and how to get it taken care of and get the numbers down. Everything from legislative laws to town hall meetings at the community level and everything in between. But it just seems like at this point, and this is also taking into account what I mentioned in the introduction coming to you, Dr. Verscher, the vice principal at West Campus High School, the most recent incident here locally. It just seems like we're taking one step forward and two steps back at this point. And that is, to me, indicative of a total failure, especially when it comes to something as critical as this. So what is it, in your opinion, that we're not addressing here?
Well, it starts at school, and so racism shouldn't be tolerated anywhere. And if you're going to look at our educational system, you would think from your living rooms to the schoolroom that we should have some type of learning discipline, something. And so to get the complaint from the vice principal from the West Campus was heartening. The fact that anyone has to tolerate any type of racism, especially within your school system, is unacceptable. And listening to her story, where she has at one point reported white students calling black students the N-word and wrote them up to be suspended, and then the suspension never happens. And so they're getting support from, in my opinion, from management. If you have a principal that says it's their Fifth Amendment right to write the N-word or to say those type of things. And so when the complaint came to the NAACP, we are, I've already had a conversation with the school superintendent, and we'll be working, sending letters out to the principal as well. But the fact that she doesn't have that type of support is unconscionable. It should not be happening at all. And so that's in the school. When you say, what should we be doing?
Right.
We should be teaching in the school that hate does not work in our school system, in the Sacramento school unified school system. That's what we should be teaching, and our management should be supporting that.
Well, and it's not just the victims. It's not just Dr. Verscher here. It's now this entire student body. The student body at West Campus High School in Sacramento is 840 students. So now their thoughts and their behaviors are now impacted by what's happening here, and that's not fair to them either.
No, it's not fair, and they have parents as well. And so I've been shared information where parents have collectively supported this negative hatred towards African Americans, and calling it a personal issue with this African American vice principal. It's a personal issue to be called the N-word. And so you have parents supporting the students. And I feel like at the end of the day, there should be more parents coming together to fight against something like that instead of supporting something like that. So when you say it's bigger than that and you have an entire school culture involved in that, you're absolutely right.
Okay, quite clearly, it hurts my heart and soul to say this, but racism is alive and well. Whether it be in California or any other state in the United States, it's alive and well. So some people have proposed the idea that hate crimes like this are less motivated by hate and more motivated by fear or ignorance or anger. So in your opinion, Ms. Williams, is that an excuse to make it easier, to make it simpler for us to sort of compartmentalize it, where to put it? Or is there some substance to that idea?
No, there's never an excuse. And that's exactly what that would be, by giving individuals an excuse that it's ignorance or it's fear. The fact that it's fear does not excuse the fact that it hurts people. And so it doesn't excuse the fact that things like this should be dealt with immediately as a hate crime. Individuals that are involved in this, students or otherwise, should be suspended or expelled immediately. African American students have been expelled and suspended for less. And the fact
Hmm.
that this is happening disturbs me. So, to your point and to your question, those are excuses,
Hmm.
period. Hate should not be tolerated anywhere in the school or anywhere.
And hate should not be tolerated in school or anywhere for a lot of reasons. But one of the concept of hate, in and of itself, at the foundation level, is sort of bound in feelings of being unwelcome and being made to feel unsafe. And when you add those elements, it's impossible to move forward in sort of a conscious way and sort of act like things are okay, whether it be with your student body or your faculty. When you feel unsafe and unwelcome, at some point, there's like a point of no return where you can't come back for that. And that's where I feel like Dr. Verschuer is right now. She said she's at the breaking point multiple times. And certainly anybody that saw or heard her interviews yesterday wouldn't argue with that.
And when you have an adult, educated vice principal like herself to say that she feels she's in fear, what do you think students of color, black students of color, brown students of color feel if an adult feels this way?
Hmm.
The fact that she has to leave her home by police escort to move to a secure place to feel safe. This is an adult woman with a family and husband and children. The fact that she has to do this, if an adult is feeling this way, how are our children at that campus feeling this way? This is behavior that appears to be approved and embraced, and that shouldn't, you shouldn't have a culture that it should be okay. So I'm also looking at the principal. So when you have a culture like that, I have to look at him to say, what have you done to enhance this culture? I do know at one point when I was talking to students earlier this week, he was on the intercom explaining how hate crime is not tolerated in the school. But that's the first time that has happened
Hmm.
since this growing outcry of the hate crime that this vice principal has experienced. He should have done this a long time ago. The school district should have been aware of this and done something a long time ago. The unions should not accept this type of behavior, period, from any of their uh, faculty members. So the fact that we're looking at this and saying, God, how terrible this is for this teacher. And she has all the tools to try to cope. And we have students don't necessarily having those same coping tools to deal with it. So what do we do with them?
Yeah, and Ms. Williams, I will close out the interview here by saying this. You know, Dr. Verschuer said one of the things that really got us yesterday was that she felt invisible. She felt like all of her accomplishments took a back seat, and no one, whether it be faculty or students at that school, saw her for all of her accomplishments. They only saw her as the expletive, as she stated it, walking down that hallway. And if Dr. Verschuer is watching this right now, I hope that she knows that what's happening there at that school is certainly not the larger take on the way that we certainly feel about it, or the reason why we wanted to talk to you in this interview, and that we do see her and that she is visible, and what happened there is unconscionable. So, Betty
Is
Williams.
visible. You're absolutely right. We embrace her as a community, and we need to continue to embrace her as a community and let her know her value. So thank you for saying that.
All right, Betty Williams, president of the Sacramento chapter of the NAACP. Ms. Williams, thank you so much for your time to talk about something that obviously is so critically important, not just in our community, but in every community nationwide. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And